Hi guys, Niklaus here. Today we are going to talk a little bit about dubbings, a little bit how we put dubbing onto a hook, a little bit different variations about that, and also a little bit about how you can make your own dubbing in a really simple way by basically using some of the different dubbings that you have at home. Today, when I tie most of my flies when I use dubbing, I always mix my dubbing myself. I don't really take one type of dubbing straight from the bag and just use it. I kind of tweak it or make it perfect in my opinion, regardless of what I'm tying. If I'm tying a super simple sea trout fly or I'm tying even a dry fly, I always like to tweak my dubbing a little bit so I get it just like I want it. And I'm doing that with using a coffee grinder. It's super simple and it makes you create super cool blends, and also you add more volume and more air to the dubbing so it becomes much easier to work with. So I think it's a really simple way to do it. So this is most likely a video for you guys who hasn't played around too much with different dubbings, but I just think it's a super simple way, and every time I do something like this in a tying course or at a demo day or a show, people go, oh, you can do that, you know. So I just thought to go through very simple how to attach dubbing to a hook, and also how you can tweak it a little bit and what type of dubbings I like to use. Like for example, now it's winter in Sweden, or we're getting into a spring season for sea trout. This is basically how my winter box looks here. So these dubbings you can't buy, but you can buy all the materials that these are made for. It's super simple. There's just, you know, basic dubbings that you can buy from different stores or whatever, one store. But the thing here is that I tweak them so I create the dubbing I really want, you know. So these are for winter colors, so there are a lot of pink in them for sea trout. They're all very fluorescent. And you can add that small things that makes that dubbing very simple and also super perfect for the pattern you want to tie. So I think this is something you should get. A coffee grinder, a bunch of dubbings, and try it out. But first we're going to show you a little bit how to attach dubbing to a hook. It's just going to be very quick and very easy, and it's not going to be anything fancy. But a lot of people are still using dubbing, in my opinion, in the wrong way, so I think it's good to show this. So this is a power thread. You can use whatever thread you're using. This was on the tying table here, so we're going to use that. So mostly the normal way to put dubbing onto a hook is basically like putting the dubbing around the thread, and that is a good way. It makes things quite simple, and if you don't need super durability, it is a good way to do it. You can use wax, or you don't have to use wax. One thing I think a lot of people are doing the wrong when I have beginners course is that they're twisting it back and forward. Twist it one direction and twist it against the thread like that. Work with the dubbing close to you, and then when you're done, you push it up the thread and you wrap it around the hook. We can tighten it a little bit, and then you can. So that's like one way you can attach dubbing. Of course, you can brush this up and get a little bit different volume to it, but this is basically the easiest way to do it. This is not super durable, but it's an easy way, and it's easy to do. So the second way to put the same dubbing onto the hook is using a dubbing loop. So you go like this, you put your finger, you attach the thread to the hook again, and you go twice around the dubbing loop. This secures the dubbing loop so it's closed all the way up here, and then you just attach whatever type of dubbing device you have. If you have a small brass dubbing twister, or like in this way, the Petition twister, which I think is really good. We attach those. We wax the thread a little bit. And we take the exact same dubbing. And you're going to see the difference by doing this compared to tighten it onto the hook. Just putting it into the dubbing loop, tighten this, so we have it like in the middle of the double thread here. We spread it nice and even, like a small carpet, and we just hold it a little bit up, so the fibers are falling away from you when you're twisting this. So we twist this here, just take a comb or a dubbing brush, or in this case like a small dog brush, and then we go with the thread forward, and we just kind of hackle this forward. So it's exact the same material. We just forward this gently with your left hand, forcing the materials to go backwards. Just tie it off twice. I'm not gonna brush this up. I'm just gonna pick up the fibers. Now you can see the difference here. The good thing with this is that if you're catching a lot of fish on this fly, this dubbing is really stuck to the fly. This one is going to gently peel off the whole time. So if you're gonna catch a lot of fish on a fly, this is really the way to go, and you can also create much more volume. So now we're gonna do some mixing of dubbing here, and so we have the two previous one here. We have the one where we just attach it to the thread, and then we have the same ice dubbing in pearl based pushed into a dubbing loop. So this is going to be much stronger, and you can comb it out much harder, and you get more volume into it. So if you want to have, depending of what kind of fly you're doing, but you're doing streamers and sea trout flies and stuff like that, I think this is most likely almost the case I prefer to do it, because more volume and better movement in the water and much more durable flies, not so discreet. So I like that. But now we're going to kind of create our own dubbing. And the cool thing with this is you can basically use any fibers you have at home, Most likely if you've been tying flies for a while, you have a lot of fibers at home. And you have maybe some synthetic dubbings, you have some natural dubbings and stuff like that. And by mixing all these together, you can create really cool effects and different variations of what we're going to do. So by using a coffee grinder. They have two blades down there which can rotate really fast, and they create volume, and also they mix the dubbing in a really good way. So I think this is the way to go if you want to do really quick and cool mixtures. So what we're going to do is we're going to just show you how to do it, and then we're going to put it in the fly. You're going to see a little bit different variation. But this is kind of a very discreet, in my opinion, tan color dubbing, which is made from 5 different products. And it's based on a haircare, so it's a natural base, and there's some synthetic inside of it. And what I've done here is I kind of mixed in some fluorescent materials just to get really cool features when the low light is going to hit this fly. So discreet dubbing, of course with some gold and stuff like that, but really a cool way to mix it up like this. So this is what we're going to do. So first we're going to start with the base, which is a normal haircare dubbing. So it's a natural dubbing with a little bit more kind of guard hair, and also kind of a lot of underfur inside of it. This is from the guys in Nature Spirits, so a really nice product. If you want, you can always kind of like fluff that up first so you get a little bit more volume onto it. As you can see, just when you push it in the coffee grinder, you really get the volume up. And after that, we're going to add some gold. Not that much, but some gold, just to get some nice color to it. Then we're going to use some fusion dub. This is a fully synthetic. That has kind of a different mixtures of different fibers. Some really long straight fibers and some kind of antron fibers and stuff like that. So nice mixture to that. That's going to be the fluorescent inlay together with some ripple ice. Then some Baitfish Supreme, also fully synthetic, really nice dubbing, quite long fibers. So you want to basically pull these apart a little bit, push it in there, and then just to top it out to get a little bit longer, stiffer fibers, we're gonna run some ripple ice, which we can kind of pull off and put in there, or you can cut it off, but it actually works really well just pulling it off. Then we're gonna take this bunch here and we're just gonna kind of work it together a little bit the first time. So we give it a good help on the way. Put it in there. Make a few hits with this. And we have a really nice fluffy product here. So, and of course here you can add whatever you want to. If you want to add more sparkle, less sparkle, more fluorescent material, you can do that. But it's a really nice mixture, really fluorescent, gonna work really well in the low light conditions. And we have different texture here. We have them soft material from the haircare, and we have these ripple ice that are very stiff fibers. So we're just gonna create a dubbing that is gonna move really well in the water, keep the volume and everything like that. So super simple way, and I highly recommend you to play around with this, because regardless of what you're going to do with it, it's super fun to make your own dubbing this way, and you can make mixtures that nobody else basically can imitate or copy, you know. So it's pretty cool. I'm just going to push this in a dubbing loop, and you can see how it turns out. So the same fly here. So we're just going to make a dubbing loop once again. Close it twice. Push the thread there. Go with the thread all the way forward. And then attach your favorite dubbing twister. I'm going to use some wax here. This thread is unwaxed, so I like to add a little bit of wax to it. So then we're just going to drop this down a little bit gentle here. We're going to pick out some of this nice and fluffy mixture here. So we're just going to make kind of a carpet of this here. Like that. Try not to compress it too much, really keep the volume still, so we really don't kill all the mojo we put into this. So we have a nice carpet like that. We're just gonna push this together. And you can always, when you have done this enough, you can always pull here, and when the fibers are very stuck to the thread closest to the hook, then you know you have basically twisted your twister enough. Just go in with a brush or a comb or whatever you want to do. We have a nice mixture there. So we're just gonna do exactly like we did with the ice dub. We're just gonna work with the thread forward here, with the whole mixture here. And then I'm gonna tie this off in the front here. A little bit too long. But it's basically just to show you how different dubbings behave in different ways here. Just gonna make a whip finish here. So just by brushing this dubbing out, you almost basically have a small bait fish here. So by using the dubbing the right way and mixing different fibers, you can create some really cool things, you know. And if you want to check out a pattern with this, we have this tangle-free woolly bugger. We might put the link up here or down here or in the description below. Let's see where we put it. But thank you guys for watching, and well, I'm not going to give this one away because it looks like shit, but good luck out there, and hope you enjoy this. See you soon.